It's a clear sky, as you can see, and I'm waiting for the sunrise here in the Lofoten Islands. Now, I want to show you what I'm doing whenever there's a clear sky like this, how I'm positioning myself, and what subjects am I picking in relation to the sun. When you're photographing the sunrise, there are two important moments. The moment the ice is cracking. The moment when the sun is rising and the moment prior to the rising of the sun. And prior to the rising of the sun, if you have clouds in the sky, then you can shoot in the direction of the sun and you have that beautiful red light casted on those clouds. But if you have a clear sky like this, then you should pick your subject something like this. So the sun is gonna rise over there behind me, and I'm kind of turning my back to the sun and I'm photographing in that direction, because there you already see, I don't know if you already see, but I'll show you here, you already see a purple cast, and that purple cast will give something extra to your images beside those peaks being lit by the light of the sun when it's gonna rise. What I'm using today is a full frame body 17 to 40mm lens and the gradiated filter of 3 stops and the polarizer filter. Because I'm using the 17mm lens, I have to be extra careful when polarizing, because usually when using such wide angle lenses, only a portion of the sky is being polarized, and that looks really odd, really strange. Don't do it. So just slightly polarize or don't polarize at all. You can counter the lack of the polarization by using that anti-gradiated filter. This is one reason for which I'm using it in this situation, to kind of darken the sky a little more and help you focus only on the mountain and the reflection. And the second reason is because I have water, I have a little bit of reflection, and the reflection is darker by 2 or maximum 3 stops than the object that is being reflected. That is why you need to put a 3-stop anti-gradiated filter on it, just to dim it down a little bit. In terms of composition, it's pretty simple. I'm using the ice as a foreground element, the entrance in the shot, a little bit of the rock over there, and that red barn that is so traditional over here, and it's present everywhere. And then of course the mountain in the background. After taking the shot in a panoramic format or landscape format, I decided that it's time to do something more extreme. So I'm getting really low and I'm capturing these ice pieces in the foreground, but it's really extreme. I'm really close to the ice, and that means that I'm going to do focus stacking. So I'm going to take about 4 shots or 5 shots, and then I'm going to compose them all into one shot just to have a really sharp image. What remains to be done is to wait for the sun to rise and to put some light on the top of that mountain over there. And when that happens, you should start photographing from the moment the light hits the actual peak until it reaches the base of the mountain, and then you can decide later what works best, what area of the mountain works best to be presented in light. The sun started to rise and the peak is already lit, but from the first shot, judging only by this, let me just focus it. So judging by this, I think it's gonna look better when I'm gonna have a bigger area in light, just to have a much more intense subject. And I think one of the reasons for that is because I'm using a 17mm lens, and this type of focal length, it's gonna emphasize and make the foreground elements bigger and the background elements smaller, and you always need to be careful to that because you can lose perspective on the size of the mountain. I changed the position just to get a different shot, and right now the mountain has more light on it, as you can see, so it looks much better. The reflection, it's much more visible from here, and I think this will end the sunrise. So just to recap, when you're photographing the sunrise and there are no clouds on the sky, turn your back to the sun and you'll see that beautiful purple glow. It's the same thing you're gonna see on a sunset with no clouds after the sun is setting. I hope you like this small tip, and you can also further support me by buying one of my editing courses. The link is in the description of this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're here for the first time, and until next time, keep on photographing because it's the only way to get better. Bye bye.